Well, let me tell you about 3 roles that a teacher or a parent plays. These 3 roles are very important. They play the guardian, the manager, and the source. There's a word that's often discussed by parents and by teachers, and that word is boundaries. I mean, there's a lot of different meanings and interpretations of that word boundaries, but today I'd like to give my slant on what boundaries are about. I believe it's good for children to have boundaries, to know what is acceptable and what is unacceptable, because then they can slowly gain more and more control of themselves. Over time, children become more responsible for themselves, for their feelings, for their behaviours and for their attitudes. When boundaries are clear, children develop a well-defined sense of who they are and what they are responsible for. They gain the ability to choose wisely, and they understand that good choices are going to bring good things, and poor choices will bring things that they don't like. Self-control, responsibility, freedom and love is what we're aiming for. But we've got to start somewhere, because those are the things that we aim for. And how does a child learn these things, these characteristics? How do they grow in self-control, responsibility and love? Well, let me tell you about 3 roles that a teacher or a parent plays. These 3 roles are very important. They play the guardian, the manager and the source. A guardian protects a child. So teachers and parents make boundaries to keep the child safe, so they can grow in a healthy manner. They set limits to freedom and then enforce them for the child's protection. And through this process, the child internalizes that wisdom and they slowly begin to take care of themselves. This protection does not mean the absence of risk, because risk is very important. Risk develops capability and confidence within our children. So through protective boundaries, we limit that risk, but risk is managed so that the child still experiences success. So we've got the role of the guardian, putting those boundaries in place. We have the role of the manager. So the teacher or the parent is the manager. The manager is to ensure that goals are reached, that aims are achieved, that expectations are met. Children are not born with self-discipline or independence, and so they're codependent upon us, and they have impulse drives. And children need us to manage and help them with their expectations so that they can feel some success. Our teachers help children to take ownership and responsibility by helping them manage their choices and their actions. And of course, teachers and parents are a source of all good things, material and immaterial, to a child. As a child progressively becomes more and more independent, they can obtain things on their own, but of course we are that initial source. So when adults within a child's life have clear understanding of acceptable boundaries with the child has an even better chance of educational success. They gain that motivation, they understand their needs, they have the skills to plan a loving and responsible and good and successful life. And that's what character is all about. Even though I really very, very strongly believe in boundaries, life's not easy. And I have seen so many parents try to do their best establishing boundaries and putting those boundaries in place. But I always say to parents, don't feel ashamed. Don't feel afraid to speak to me. Believe me, after 35 years of working with children and with parents and with teachers, I have just about seen everything. So nobody needs to be worried about their child as they give the major tantrum of the century or anything like that, because I have seen most things. And so what I want to do is equip parents, and I want to equip teachers with the ability to establish those boundaries. But first, understand your role. Understand that you're a guardian, a manager, and a source of all good things. If you take that on board, it's just really a little snippet of your role, but it will help you establish what you can do for your child. Thank you.